Hello again, everyone. Welcome back to Season 6, Week 4 of the Cobalt Wins League. Today's two-game set will take place in the second division. Vasani is about to face off against Copers Anonymous. The former has gone 1-1 in both of their matches so far. The latter is still looking for their first Nexus of the season. My name is Crewman44, back in the CWL studio for the second day in a row because Logic needs more casters. Fortunately, we were able to get Drake Break, and we have a very Pog Poro of the British variety joining me for today's action. British Poro, how are you feeling this lovely evening?
I'm feeling good. I'm excited to watch Copers Anonymous fight for their lives because with playoffs coming up and one team not going to be able to make it, getting some wins on the board is going to be really important for them.
It absolutely will be. Yes, they are desperately in need of those wins if they do want to get a shot in the playoffs. Of course, we are down to only 5 teams here in Division 2, and 4 of those teams do go into that playoff bracket. So as long as you're not last, you have a chance, Poro.
Yeah, I mean, not being last is always nice. Ideally, you'd want to be first, but
Well,
you know, when
might,
4 of the 5 teams make it into playoffs, you just gotta avoid being bottom. As
yeah, we need to set some manageable goals, some reachable goals here for Copers Anonymous. Yes, so not last, I think, is a great place to start. You know, if they do, get really hot and they can look for that first place spot, then, more power to them. But got to start somewhere. And,
yeah, sometimes all you need is to get that snowball rolling. If they can get that first win on the board, figure out what works for them and replicate it, maybe they can start winning every game from now on. You never know.
You've been taking a little bit of a look at those op.gg's there, British Poro. How do you think? Where do you think Copers Anonymous should be looking towards to try and get themselves a win on the board here? You got any strategies for them in mind?
The top laner of Copers Anonymous plays Aatrox, which on this patch is completely bonkers. Like, it's just disgustingly good. So if they can get their hands on that, I think it'd be really good for them.
Could be an angle there.
But I think this patch is a patch where it's a patch of things that are really strong. Like Kai'Sa is still insane high prio.
Did get lose yesterday though, actually, Poro.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So not unbeatable, but is very strong. Yes, you're absolutely right.
Yeah, definitely. So we'll see if that comes out. I think that might be high prio for both of these teams.
Yeah, I think it certainly could be. The Xayah has been a fairly common response, of course, into the Kai'Sa. And I believe that is what did end up taking down the Daughter of the Void yesterday here in the CWL. So we'll see maybe if the Copers... Okay, never mind. There's the Kai'Sa ban. So don't have to talk about that anymore.
Yep, that one's gone.
Yeah.
Looks like Gragas taken away as well.
Absolutely. Moving pretty quick through the drafting here. There's the Xayah as well, so maybe feeling like with the Kai'Sa ban, then the Bird Lady is just rising up in priority regardless, perhaps. And a lot of AD carry bans, actually. Yeah,
with Samira banned, the other premium AD carry is Ashe, and Samira obviously really good against the Ashe arrow. But there's the Aatrox that we're talking about.
And it's been taken away from Copers Anonymous, and the immediate response of the Olaf. Very, very interesting there. So I assume that's going to be the Olaf in the top lane into the Aatrox. Is Olaf something else that the top laner for Copers has some experience on?
Ooh, I like this. Olaf's one of the few good matchups into the Aatrox at the minute. Once you hit 6, you can just ignore all of his knockups and the pull from his W. And the Karma gives the Aatrox a lot more utility, lets him run through faster than he normally would be able to. He can struggle to get to people, but with Karma speeding him up, giving him shields, he can be a bit of a menace, and Ezreal pairs really well with that Karma in bot lane.
Absolutely. Very well-known bot duo. A very, very old pairing. It's ancient even in League of Legends history. But it's been around for a while for a reason, right? As you were just saying, very strong, reliable duo down there. And the Olaf historically as well has been also, as you were just saying, really strong alongside the Karma there, helping to shore up some of his late-game woes, where he can sometimes struggle to connect his axes with the faces of his opponents. Being able to run just a little bit faster can be really helpful for that sort of thing. But on the other side, for Vasina, I do feel like they've got a lot of power picks right now. Vasani have a lot of power picks right now in this draft. Tristana as well, I feel, has been very, very strong on this patch.
Yeah, I think we might see this Tristana going bot. The Ashe and the Varus are taken away, as we've already seen the Kai'Sa, the Samira, the Zaya's also gone. There's not a... Oh, we see Sion, so this could be an Olaf jungle, potentially. Although I wouldn't want to play the Sion into the Aatrox. That's a terrible matchup for the Sion.
That does seem ill-advised for the Copers. Hopefully, I mean, Sion jungle is also a thing, right? We even saw... Who played the Sion jungle? Was that Canyon?
Canyon has played some Sion jungle, yeah.
It was somebody over there in the LCK. I'm pretty sure it won the Sion jungle.
I think the thing with Sion jungle is that, like, it's a thing that you can do if it turns out that your Sion top can't play his matchup. It's like you can flex it away from it, but they already have their top laner, so picking the Sion jungle seems a bit weird, unless it's something that, like, maybe they've practiced it a lot and they're really comfortable with it.
Maybe.
The Cassio here doesn't look great to me. I think the problem the Cassio has is that the Victor, the Ezreal, the Karma, they're not going to be in range of her. Like, it's hard for Cassio to go forward. She wants to, like, kite back.
Certainly. Well, I mean, the Victor was, of course, the R5 pick for Copers Anonymous on red side here, so that's really just a good counter pick, I guess, coming out from them. Being able to outrange the Snake in the mid lane can be pretty nice, and the Victor has a lot of frontline to work with as well, right? So this is the kind of composition where Victor can excel. Clearly playing for those team fights mid and late game, playing those out front to back. That is going to be the idea for the Copers. But on the other side of things, Visani also do have a pretty nice front to back team fighting comp. You know, they are a little bit outranged, so that is potentially an issue. But to shore that up, to counteract that, Poro, they have quite a bit of engage for themselves, don't they?
They do, and I think what's going to be most important for Visani here is how their lanes go. If they can win lane on the Aatrox, the Cassio, the Tristana, Nautilus, then they're going to give themselves prio in lanes in the mid game, and that's going to allow them to push in and set up on these dragons and heralds first, and that's going to force Copers Anonymous on red side to run into them, rather than having the onus of walking in being on Visani. If they can get there first, then it's going to mitigate a lot of the weaknesses of their draft.
Certainly, see if they will be able to do it. You know, of course, have had the better season so far, so if they are just the better team today, then finding that early lead should be pretty straightforward. But overall, Poro, which composition do you like better? If we remove the nameplates and you're playing out one of these drafts, do you think either team found any kind of advantage?
I think I would rather play red side. Olaf looks really solid here. He's just ignoring Sedge, Nautilus, Aatrox, and just beating them down. Victor is relatively untouched, like a stray Nautilus hook or a Sedge ult could clip him, but other than that, like Ezreal, really nice into Aatrox. Aatrox likes playing against immobile carries, and Ezreal is not that at all. I think the range at which the red side draft can output this high damage is going to be a bit of a problem for blue if the comps are at an even level of gold. But whether that's going to happen or not, we'll have to see.
We will indeed. Certainly a decisive range advantage here in Game 1 for Copers Anonymous, but I do feel it's a composition where you have to be playing it out correctly. It kind of takes a lot of discipline to be playing at the appropriate ranges. You know, you have to be coordinating well as a team, to be creating that space for the Victor and the Ezreal to throw out their long-range abilities while not putting themselves in danger. It does require a lot of coordination, so hopefully the Copers can come in tonight with that coordination all ready to go. But for Visani, they have a pretty straightforward dive composition and lots of powerful meta picks. The Aatrox on B1, see with Ted's Grade is able to get done up there in the top lane. We're going to go to a short break, guys, when we come back. First game of the night. See you soon.
Welcome back to the CWL Division 2. I'm the British Poro here with Crewman.
Indeed, you are, Poro. Lovely intro there. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I was contractually obliged to do that voice, so...
You were. It's true. And you did a fantastic job. We do have the Scion in the jungle, as we predicted, for Looney X, rocking the Phase Rush and the Red Pet. Interesting.
Yeah, we got a cheeky little 5-stack. You gotta be careful with the 5-stack with Scion, because if anyone walks into that, a full-channeled Scion queue, they're just gonna be dead, so...
That's true. Yeah, gotta be very careful. But it will be respected, and it will be just the 5-point that comes out from the side of Vasani. Nothing happening here at level 1.
Yeah, we've got defensive wards placed by both teams, no aggressive wards, so no info on where either jungler is going to be starting outside of tracking who leashes. One thing I want to talk about is that the Olaf has teleport. Sometimes you'll see the Olaf go like double combat summoners with the flash ghost, but skipping the flash here, so could get blasted by a big Q3 from the Aatrox that he can't flash out the way of.
Yeah, potentially. Aatrox can be pretty strong in the early lane, even though the target of the buffs was more towards mid and late, is really when he's going to be benefiting from those AD ratios on the Qs. And Olaf's not really a slouch in the early game either, so I think it's gonna be contested up here. For sure.
Yeah, the first few levels are not great for Aatrox. He wants level 4, level 5, where he's got multiple points in his Q. He spikes quite hard then. And also, like you said, the buffs are to his AD ratios. You need 100 total AD to make it even out. So if you have more than 100, which is very easily gettable on your first back, then you're going to be dealing more damage than you were before.
Very aggressive from the Snake here in the mid lane. Going to proc the Conqueror. Both mid laners shrunk down pretty low. Dredgeline going to land, and goes to Tristana. That's a nice little bomb strapped to the head of the Karma. Is going to flash away. It's not going to save her. Oh, it actually will save her. Does get her. Oh, was that a tick of the Ignite? It must have been that last tick of the Ignite there for the Nautilus, picking up the first blood for Vasani in the bot lane.
Yeah, it was that last tick of the Ignite. That's exactly what we need to see from Vasani, because we talked about in draft how they need their lanes to be ahead to be able to get prio for these objectives, and mid trading aggressively, bot winning, and a good trading top lane as well from Aatrox.
Oh yeah, Olaf going in with those axes. Trying to pressure this. Oh, the flash in for the Sejuani. Flash response from Twist. Mid lane here, keeping himself safe. Good reaction there from the Victor. Down a little bit in CS, though, already.
Yeah, and I like that trade. You're getting rid of the flash on your Sejuani, but you're making the Victor a lot more vulnerable, trading flash for flash, and Cassio can potentially look for a solo kill. Victor has to be quite careful now.
Absolutely. It's something he's going to have to watch out for. We have the tier start for Stormgate on the Cassio, so just trying to do as much as possible to mitigate those mana issues that Cassio does so often struggle with. And we do have Scion moving into the topside river now. Kimosabe? Is that Kimosabe? We just call him Kimo.
Let's call it Kimo.
Is, pushed out of the river here. Scion continuing to move forward aggressively to put some pressure on the boar-riding Freljordian woman. But she will be able to secure her own blue buff, looks like, and the big old zombie is just going to go back to that crab. Knock that one down. Is comfortably ahead in terms of clear speed, is the Scion. Interestingly, I'm not sure if I necessarily would have expected that.
Yeah, he's definitely a jungle advantage right now. We saw that mid cross-through gank that took a little bit of time.
And then doing right now? What is Looney doing right now on this Scion? He's doing some Looney stuff right now. Okay,
he's going to get these wolves. There's nothing Sedge can do about it.
Yeah.
The big thing is the top lane advantage. Pede had a really good lane state. He had a freeze that Olaf was basing on, but he broke his own freeze. But even with that, he's still got a massive lead for himself, and he's up teleport, he's up XP, he's up gold. He's winning top lane really hard right now.
That does feel really, really good for the Aatrox. That's summoner advantage. Did just see a roam up from Xanthjune as well on this Nautilus. Love to see early roams on a champion like Nautilus. Right, is such a powerful early roamer with that big old dredge line that he's got.
Yeah, definitely. It would be really good for them to try and get this early dragon. One thing that Sejuani's really good at is if you have a melee support, they keep activating your E passive. And the E does a ton of damage to dragon and it has no cooldown. So you can just keep smacking it and you can clear drakes really fast with melee support and Sedge.
Definitely. One thing I also was going to mention a little bit earlier is the top 2v2. Even you know, without Aatrox getting this big lead up there in the 1v1 would be, I think, very favored for Visani. You know, Aatrox Sejuani, I'm pretty sure wins against Olaf Scion in most situations. So
Until level 6, yeah, I think so.
yeah, I guess the Olaf can then complicate things with the Ragnarok. But still, if you can focus him down, I feel like that should be you know, a decent chance of still winning that even after level 6. Maybe not though.
So we see on the first base, Aatrox is coming back to lane with 116 AD, so he's already considerably above that 100 AD threshold. So he's already doing a lot more damage than he was last patch. It's crazy how quickly those scaling buffs come online.
Absolutely, yeah. That's why Aatrox is so popular on this patch, why he's so strong right now, because it is such a nice buff for him. Makes him strong much earlier on in the game, and much more consistently strong throughout the game as well. There is that early dragon.
Visani doing the dragon, yeah.
Yeah, just like you had predicted moments ago, Poro. Sejuani with her trusty melee support can be able to take that one down no problem. Is getting counter jungled a little bit. And the CS differential in the jungle is building.
Yeah, I don't think you're too concerned about that. Sejuani's a relatively low econ jungler. If he was playing something like a Kayn, then obviously he's going to be hurting, but getting Dragon for CS lead is good. His lanes are ahead. If he can keep his lanes ahead and keep stacking these Drakes on cooldown... Oh, all in top.
He's going for it. He's Ragnaroking for it. He's got a Scion here. Aatrox is going to flash. He's got the Q2. He's going to get knocked up by the Decimating Smash. Does have Q3. Ragnarok has worn off, and the Olaf, in fact, is going to go down. And this Scion is just level 5, and that is an Aatrox in World Ender. He's going to be able to get the knock-up, denies the Q2. Doesn't quite land his own Q, though, does the Aatrox. So the Scion will escape, but that is going to be Pettisgrade in the 1v2 picking up the kill.
Yeah, really good mechanical outplay. I think misplays from Olaf, throws his axes too far so he can't pick them back up and misses the first one. But I think Pettis could have just base TP'd here. He had a freeze, and if he did, top lane would have been completely over. But Olaf is now going to be able to catch this wave because he's pushed it.
Yeah, very true. Maybe Aatrox just feeling like he wants to hold on to the teleport for whatever reason, or I don't know, not too sure. Scion is going to run train right down mid lane here. He's going to get the flash out from Stormgate, who would have it back on wood. Flashes over the Petrifying Gaze. That was pretty nice from the Scion. That Stormgate going down very, very low, and they will be able to get that kill. And now it's just a Nautilus here. It's a lonely little naughty boy. Victor is quite low. Xanthrian going to be able to get back underneath the turret here. You have to believe. Going to get the root and the flash in for the Tristana Dipstick. Coming in for the double kill. Very, very nice there. The bot laner roaming up for Visani, cleaning up what was a little bit of a messy scuffle in that mid lane.
Yeah, I mean, it turns out as a tragedy for Copas, but it was a nice little flash from Looney. It looked really cute as he flashed over the Cassiopeia roll, but they just don't have enough damage to actually win the fight. Even with the Sejuani ult missing, it's just not a fight that they can win.
Yeah, it was, I mean, it was good that they at least were able to get that kill, and some good mechanics showcased by Looney on that Scion to be able to chase down that Cassio, but that is the only thing that the Copers have been able to find for themselves so far in this one. You have Rift Herald alive right now. Oh, what was that, Poro?
I think what's going to be difficult for them is that this Aatrox has already got a 1,000 gold lead.
Yeah, it's kind of a lot of gold.
On such a powerful champion on this patch, he's going to be a nightmare to deal with. You can see this Q's already doing a ton of damage.
Yeah, he's looking pretty scary up here. Big ol' Aatrox. Onto the Rift Herald we go with all that top lane pressure that Visani do have. Rocking Twist and Looney want to think about contesting this one. Herald's going down pretty slow. We do have the Nautilus here once again. Neither AD carry making their way up for this one. Xantrian going to go in with the Dredge line. Here comes Sejuani to try and follow up, but the Nautilus is already dead. So that is going to be potentially a man advantage on the other side for Copers. Pettisgrade getting chunked down a little bit there by the True Shot Barrage as Kata's helping out from long range. And that will be the disengage on the Rift Herald. Another kill going over to Copers. The lock comes down onto the Scion. Gravity Well comes out. Sejuani in trouble. Re-engage with the Glacial Prison. There's the knock-up. There's the kill. It's going to be Karma trying to flash away now, trying to stay alive. Be able to do so. 1 for 1. at the end of the day in the topside river, but Tristana did move up here. Ezreal, some quality time in that bottom lane.
Yeah, and once again, Copa's just biting off a little more than they can chew. They won the initial skirmish. They actually had Karma soak the mid wave after the skirmish with Cassio and Sion using their flash earlier, and Karma got level 6, so when Nautilus engaged, he was down a level, didn't have his ultimate, and he just dies immediately, but then Copas try and stick around longer than they can realistically do, and Aatrox gets there, Sejuani ults, Cassio gets a really nice ult over the wall onto 3 people, and they just turn the fight in their favour. Vesani are now massively ahead.
Oh yeah, it was a really nice petrifying gaze there from Stormgate, absolutely right. I wonder if we could even get a replay of that petrifying gaze, potentially. Let us know. But either way, we do have another dragon spawning in about 30 seconds. It'll be second dragon of the game. Let's see if Vesani can be able to pick that one up. Zion is getting on another train. This time the destination is the bottom lane. Pettis gonna not get knocked up by that decimating smash, and the train has arrived at the station to find nobody there. So
yeah, and it looks like we're getting a Herald for Dragon swap. Oh, this might be a dead Olaf.
Potentially, that's a Herald plus Olaf. No, he's got Ragnarok. He's fine.
Yeah, Ghost
used
down
everything there to not die.
So we'll have to see if Vesani can transition from this Herald into Drake, because they did lane swap Dipstick and Xanth into top lane, so they're on the complete opposite side of the map of this objective, but I think they want to be stacking Drakes for an early soul. They could get one at like 22 minutes here.
Certainly, if they can get both, they would like that to be the case, but doesn't look like that's going to come through here, Poro. So the dragon count will be tied. We'll see if Chemo is going to want to immediately drop that. It does have his Tristana, a premier turret destroyer in that top lane, and that Olaf, they know, has no summoners and no ultimate. So they're just going to do some turret demolition here. It seems like a pretty good play, I think, from Vesani, getting their money's worth out of that Rift Herald, absolutely. And
the best part is they're giving it all to this Tristana. Dipstick's going to be really ahead now. He's going to go back to base, get his Kraken Slayer.
Oh, caught it. Okay, he's playing Ezreal.
Yeah, not going to be able to die to the Aatrox though.
Not down yet. It is about to go down, though. It is down. The team is here. Flash for the dredge line. Vision Prison over the wall. A lot of damage. Tristana looking for the double kill. It's going to be Sejuani, actually, that picks that one up. The reset on the rocket jump. Should. Ooh, the exhaust comes out. Chemo looking for a double kill of his own. Doesn't have the cooldowns. Liar makes it out of there, but that's the turret +1. Vesani in the top lane.
Yep, they've got their foot on the gas pedal right now. They're just expanding their lead. Would have been nice for that exhaust to come down a little bit earlier. Sadly alive, sadly dies. And
yeah. Oh. that's actually his summoner name. Oh my goodness. He's sadly not alive. Wow, that's
a shocking twist.
what a shocking turn of events. Oh my goodness! Oh my God.
yeah.
That was well played, Mr. Poro. Well played indeed. Very impressive stuff there. I don't think Drake
would
have
an incident with Victor out there. We could call it Stormgate.
Oh my goodness! You're just making me look bad now.
I'm sorry. I'm acting like a dipstick. I'll stop.
Oh man. Okay. Well, we don't have another dragon for a while. But yeah, the gold lead is pretty big now, isn't it? That's 5K to the name for Vesani. Feeling really
not
strong.
Not only is
right
it a
now.
5K gold lead, it's exactly where you want it. We've got a what's that, 2,500 gold lead on Tristana. We've got the same on Aatrox. So that 5K gold lead is basically just on Aatrox Tristana, which is exactly where you want it. I mean, you'd like a bit on Cassio too, but
sure,
you're not going to be disappointed with it on those two.
Yeah, the Cassio is pretty much even in that mid lane. It's 300 gold in favor for the Cassio. So compared to the other lanes, not that much. But still, you know, Stormgate just doing his thing. He's being a snake. He's getting that CS. He's scaling.
He is. I think his champion's still a little bit awkward to play.
First
the hook.
Gonna land. There's a Scion here. The train once again coming into the station. Dipstick, nice timing on that rocket jump. Beautiful buster shot as well for the Tristana to find the disengage. Oh, this is an interesting teleport. The Aatrox is going to take some damage on his way out here. He's going to be able to teleport down to the bot lane. He's going to immediately die. It's the insta-death there for Pettis on the TP.
Yeah, that's that looks like some of the teleports in my solo queue. Oh my
hey,
god,
oh my word. That was an engage. That was a really nice engage, in fact, as immediately 2 people are dead on the side of the Copers, and they're going to need to do some coping after that one. And hey, at least we got the Aatrox, guys. Coping.
Yeah, and I'm starting to notice a bit of a pattern. We see there a good play from the side of Copa's Anonymous. I mean, it's kind of a bad play from Perez, right? He TPs into his death. They get the kill, and then they just stick around for longer than they should and die. And I think that's the 3rd time we've seen this now.
Yeah, that sounds about right. It does sound pretty accurate. I guess you know we could say that the bait was nicely set. It was all part of the master plan, right? Perez Grati teleports in, gives over some gold to lower their guard, and then we have the rest of the team waiting near the tri-brush. A step forward and immediate flash over the wall. I think it was Xanthjune that initiated that with a dredge line, and the immediate glacial prison on top to follow up there. So Vasani was just ready to pounce. And they will actually defend their tier 1 in the top lane as well. No turrets taken yet this game for the Copers.
Yep, no turrets taken yet. The dragon is coming up. Oh, every time I try to
dredge
talk, there's a hook.
Yeah. No, there's going to be a lot more of those as well. You got some time now, Mr. Quirrell.
As I was going to say, don't hook anyone. I'm talking. As I was going to say, I don't think Copas can fight this dragon. I think they're too far behind, so it would be cool to see them transition people into top lane and try to cross map. Maybe get a T2, get that big gold injection from the tier 2 turret that you get, rather than just try to fight what's going to be an uphill battle down here at the dragon.
Yeah, this is looking like a difficult battle for sure. 6,000 gold right now is the deficit for the Copers. Tristana and Cassio both on 2 items, feeling really powerful, and they're just going to push mid. Copers are not defending the mid lane right now. They will give up that turret. And the dragon's going to go over as well.
Yeah, and if you think, like, they can't defend that mid turret, they can't fight this dragon. They could have had someone pushing top right now, and that tower would go down. They'd get the objective bounty. They could push in that next wave and threaten the T2. But instead, they're just kind of doing nothing. And I think they've realized a bit too little too late that they're just giving this for free.
That's a little bit risky. Is pretty good timing on that true shot barrage. I didn't actually catch how close that was to stealing it, but it was Tristana that got the last hit. So good try there from Kata. Not able to get it though. There's a Hextech soul this game, Horo. So oh, Dredgeline. Did he want that one? I guess he did.
Yeah, Hextech's all really good for both teams. Let's see if Olaf wants to take this fight onto Perez. Doesn't look like it.
Yeah, so there's gonna be some more farming of some minions for Copers Anonymous here in the mid lane. They're gonna get a knock up onto the Nautilus. Xanthjune is gonna have to flash away, so they're gonna get a Nautilus flash for their troubles. Oh, that's a big old flash. Oh, that's a nasty flash. That's a big old Aatrox in the backline right now. Deathstar's going to get the knock up. The Aatrox will die. He will not survive being in the backline. The Olaf will also die. And the nice double knock up from Looney denies the rocket jump. And the bomb will explode. That's going to be a dead Kata. But that's a fight for the Copers. They get the team fight.
Yeah, and I'm not sure if there'll be a replay of that fight, but if there is, things to keep your eye on is the Sejuani ult from Chemo. Really good. Starts the fight out great for them. They get the kill on Takada. Then you have Perez going into the backline and just biting off way more than he can chew. He's not tanky with this Eclipse build. That's not what Aatrox does with this build. But then you have Dipstick failing the Tristana buffer onto the Scion Q. So a huge 2-man Scion Q, like you said, from Looney, wins the fight for Copas Anonymous. And they're kind of clawing their way back into this game.
Yeah, they definitely are. As Perez just getting a little bit hyphy there, I think. A little bit too big for his darkened pants there.
Yeah, I've been watching a few too many Nile TikToks. He's on the career grind at the minute.
I see. Regardless, it is still a little bit of a lead for Vasani. They are still in a pretty solid position in this game right now. They're going to lock down this second. Oh, they might not have time, actually. 15 seconds till Baron comes up. Should have enough time to take down the Rift Herald, I think, but it is quite close. They do get the objective. Pettis Grad is going to look for another fight down here. Ragnarok is utilized by the Olaf, but the Aatrox is just going to lap his wings and move on away from that Barbarian.
Yep, just runs away from him. Says, okay, you're going to use your ult and your ghost. I'll just leave.
Yeah. Refuses to elaborate. Just leaves. It's going to be, that's been a little bit of a recurring theme in this matchup between the Aatrox and the Olaf. Seems like Sadly Alive is just like, once in a while he'll decide he wants to run at the Aatrox, and every time that happens, the Aatrox is just like, okay, I'm gonna run away, actually. And then the Olaf doesn't have anything, and the Aatrox ends up getting the push again. Taking a look at the gold here, Poro, as the top laners do scuffle a little bit more, both no ults. But it looks like the World Ender, oh, they're going to come up at about the same time, actually.
Yeah, looks like. Oh, well, we might get another fight. Nope. Yeah, we got a big gold lead for the side of Vasani right now. They're up almost 6,000 gold, 5,500. What I'd like to see is them use this Herald to get themselves onto Soul Point. They could put Cassio in the side lane, top lane with teleport up, or they could put Aatrox there. Either's fine. Give them Herald. If the enemy team tried to respond, send multiple members, they TP down to the Drake and grab that Soul Point. Because Hextech Soul is going to win them the game. Like, that Soul is so powerful. Especially like with Aatrox on your team, it just enables him to land all those sweet spots. So I think that's what they should be playing around here.
I do agree. We do have 1 minute on that Hextech Soul Point Dragon coming up. And I think using the Herald for some pressure would be quite a reasonable strategy to employ for Vasani. So, of course, in the pocket of Chemo on the Sejuani. Holding on to it for now. So a little bit of time before the Dragon comes up. We do have a teleport on the Victor, who can join. Cassio as well.
Yeah, it looks like Cassio's basing for item, maybe? Got a needlessly large rod. Wants to be as powerful as possible for this Drake fight, which is... It is what you want. I'm going to use the Hex Gates to get back. We'll see if Sedge drops this Herald. Another thing they could do is just push mid-wave in as a team and drop Herald mid. But I think you could put a lot more pressure top than mid right now.
Fair enough. Yeah, that would force more of a choice, right? If you go for the cross map into the Dragon take. That can be much more efficient if the objective is to pull apart your opponents. Let's knock up onto a Sejuani, who doesn't really care too much about the whole situation. Pedisgrade, though, might be a little bit more trouble. He's going to have to go ahead and flash on out of there to survive. Dredgeline, though, going to connect. The fight looks like it's going to be kicked off. Depth Charge comes out. There goes the sign into the back line. There, Olaf is already dead, though. Flash out of that decimating smash for the Nautilus, who will stay alive. Nobody going down yet on the side of Vasani. Finally, the jungler will drop zombie form, able to get a little bit of work done here, but not too much. Aatrox Q's not connecting. He's going to be Dipstick flashing forward with the exhaust. Not quite able to get the reset on the jump, though. It's going to be the 3-for-1 team fight in the bot side. Ooh, thought about it there. Some low health bars, though, for Vasani.
Oh, yeah, and you can tell... Oh, we've got a TP in from Perez, but he's not going to be able to get anyone. But you can tell that Copa's Anonymous, they're not thinking about the Herald usage. It does just get dropped mid, like we were talking about. It takes mid T2, and it gets a huge amount of damage onto mid T3 as well. So that inhib is going to be open soon.
Yeah, I'll be honest, Poro. I wasn't thinking about the Rift Herald either, despite the fact that we were just talking about it. Maybe that's why I'm flat. But anyway, I didn't notice that Chemo had actually dropped that down before the fight kicked off. But taking a look at the replay here, what do you think was the biggest moment?
Well, aside from the fight, I think Copas, they set up on Dragon really early, and I think what Vasani could have done is just barreled down mid with the Herald. That's what we'd see perhaps in Division 1. But they elect into the fight, and they're so far ahead in gold, they kind of just slap them with their wallets. There's a big Cassio ult. Trist pumps out a ton of damage, diving into the backline with the exhaust, like you brought up. It's a pretty easy fight for them, being up, what is it now, 7,000 gold lead?
Yeah, it looked pretty straightforward, I would say. It was good start there from the Petrifying Gaze, like you mentioned. And the follow-up, really, really nice as well. Good target selection as well. They were kind of playing into the front to back, but when you're this far ahead, you are allowed to do that. So they just kind of burned down the Olaf and the Scion first. And then it was pretty smooth sailing from there. Well, they take another team fight win. They do secure themselves in the lead at 7K. Like you just said, Baron is alive now. We're going to get some setup around the area. Decent amount of vision control currently held by Vasani around that Baron pit. Do see Cobra's moving in now to clear out a little bit of that.
Yeah, and I think from the side of Copas, you need to find some picks. You need to just make the game a little bit more scrappy than you normally would. Like, you could say flip it, but like just try to find something to get yourself back into the game, because in 3 minutes there's a huge win condition for Visani, and you don't have enough gold to fight it right now.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, there is some scaling, right, for this Cooper's composition, but it doesn't really seem like things are getting much easier at the moment, as the Blast Cone will be denied. Control Ward going to get removed.
Yeah,
The Baron's
Looney's
just
bot
gone.
side. This is gone.
Yeah, that thing just evaporated.
Yeah, Looney's just taking his Grump. There's no smite available for
Yeah.
Copers and Honus, and it's gone. Baron's gone.
Cooper's staring down the barrel of their 5th straight loss this season. I think certainly an 0-2 tonight is pretty much going to guarantee them that last place spot in the standings, unfortunately. Or at least going to nearly guarantee them.
But looking at it from the other perspective, it would also nearly guarantee that Visani get into playoffs. So
yeah,
Visani not going to be wanting to give them any breathing room here.
Certainly, certainly. I believe Visani does have some history here in the CWL. I know I've seen them around before. I don't quite remember what their results were last season at the moment, but certainly they do have some expectations to live up to. Stormgate going to toss out the Gaze. Not really going to be petrifying anybody, though, and the Casio, in fact, is in a whole bunch of trouble. True Shot Barrage will pick up the last hit, but we do see Visani getting some stuff done on the other side of Summoner's Rift. Push down the bot lane right now.
Yeah, they did get a pick, like I was talking about, but I think you needed to do this before you gave away a free Baron, because now you commit 3 members top, and they just take your base.
Oh, it's the tier 2 that's going to go... Oh, no, it was in fact the tier 3 in the mid lane that did get destroyed by the Nautilus, or the Baron-empowered Nautilus, as Looney's flashing forward, looking for that decimating smash. Will not be able to find it, though, as the disengage is looking pretty clean from Visani. They're just going to be able to walk it out here. Scion, no ults. Can't really catch up to... They're continuing to chase. There's a chase all the way down the lane. Olaf is just going to run at him. He's going to pop the ghost. He's going to pop the right. He's just going to run at him. Depth charge is going to come out. Olaf's pretty much dead. That's going to be death on the Karma first. Start things off. There's a person already come down on Takata. He's exhausted. He can't really do anything. Reset on the jump for Dipstick. Gets on out of there. Scion's dead as well. And it's going to be white. It's going to be Visani absolutely taking him apart here in this bot lane. Absolute destruction. Annihilation did occur before our very eyes. And I don't think they need a Hextech Soul Poro. I think that's pretty much going to do it.
Yeah, Dipstick, huge in that fight. Absolutely melts through Sadly Alive on the Aatrox. Doesn't matter how strong you are as a Viking, Tristana's in a completely different age of technology. She's just shooting you.
Oh, enough range there with the draw bead. He's drawing some beads. He's flashing for... There it is. There it is. The Dipstick's going to dip his stick in that one. And that's going to be game 1. Going over to Visani in 30 minutes. They're feeling really good about how this match is starting out tonight. There comes the charge, though. The choo-choo train is looking for something, looking to run over some people as the Nautilus getting taken down, but the Olaf going to get traded back. Look at that healing on the Aatrox. Oh, my goodness, going in there with a big old Q3, and Easy's going to be able to carry through this fight. As the Casio and the stun damage as well. That was Dipstick pretty much untouched throughout all of that. And it was a valiant attempt at a hold, at a last-ditch defense for the Copers, but they were not able to find it. And that is, in fact, going to be game 1 in the books.
Yeah, good game from Visani. I think it's not doomed for Copers. There's stuff you can do. Like, first off, I don't think you should be giving people Aatrox on this patch. And second, they were finding good things early game. They were just overstaying their welcome and then getting traded back on and losing out in the end. If they can add more discipline into their gameplay, I think they have a chance to take this next game.
Yeah, absolutely. And that is something that we did call out from draft as well, right? A composition like this, where you're playing with range and you're playing to scale and you're playing for these front-to-back team fights, it requires a lot of coordination, right? It requires everybody to be on the same page and playing the team fights out in the appropriate manner. And while I don't think that was necessarily the biggest problem in this game, I feel like the side of Copers ended up kind of falling pretty far behind in the laning phase before we even got to team fights. I do think there's some room for improvement there as well. So hopefully the Copers can rally themselves and pull themselves together to get another shot at picking up their first win here tonight. You have any more remarks on game 1, Poro, before we head into a short break?
No, I think, like you said, good laning from Visani, decent play around objectives, and good use of the Herald. And yeah, I think cleaning things up, not giving Aatrox, and playing more disciplined will do wonders for Copas Anonymous in Game 2.
Certainly. Yeah, honestly, the Herald usage, really high value this game for Vasani. Both Shelly and Shirley doing a whole bunch of work in this one. Maybe they should be POG. But we'll have to wait and see how Game 2 goes, see if the Rift Herald has another pop-off performance. Before then, guys, we will be heading into that short break. We'll see you soon for Game 2. Don't go away. Hello again, CWL fans. Welcome back. to our Saturday showdown between Vasani and Cooper's Anonymous. Vasani, of course, taking game number 1. They will be moving over to the red side, though, for game 2. Poro, kind of adaptations are you hoping to see from the Coopers? You know, you talked a little bit about it before. We're hoping to see that Aatrox either banned or taken away for themselves on the first pick. Honestly, I might expect to see Vasani ban that from red side, and knowing the proficiency that the Cooper's top laner has on the pick.
Yeah, I mean, there's not a lot of things that beat it at the moment. It's just so overtuned. Like, unless you're really good at playing something like Aurelia or Fiora, you don't really win against it. And when you have a champion that's that overtuned, it just warps draft. Like, you just have to get rid of it.
Yeah, I feel like it's really hard to play on red side right now. It's because there's so many strong picks at the moment that you can't really ban away everything that you would like to. But it can work. You know, sometimes trading OPs is a thing, right? So, maybe Usani's gonna be able to get themselves some good picks. After all, they clearly looked good on a lot of they played last game.
If you're in pro play and everyone can play everything, on red side, I think you just ban Aatrox, Kai'Sa, Ivern, and everything else has answers. But like those 3, especially Aatrox, Kai'Sa, it just feels like you're giving them a massive advantage in draft by giving them away. You could potentially ban neither of them and trade them, but I think they're both just like too strong.
Yeah, it's a tough puzzle to solve, certainly. Very curious to see what the teams do end up going for in this Game 2 draft. I'm not quite sure what the status is on that at the moment, but hoping to get in there before too much longer. Yeah, how's your day, Poro? How are you doing over there?
It's pretty good, Watched some CWL. I went to Pizza Hut earlier. That was nice. I had the buffet, so I had all-you-can-eat pizza, and then I had some ice cream.
Oh, that's really cool. I've had a somewhat similar experience recently. Not exactly the same, but I recently did a little bit of a work at an event at like a gaming lounge near where I live, and there was food at this event, and at the end there was like an entire a few actually pizzas that were entirely untouched, still sitting there. So
Wow.
I did have the opportunity to take one of those pizzas home with me. So been a little bit of my own personal pizza buffet over the last couple of days.
If anyone's listening, I will work for pizza. Like, I don't need money. Like, pizza's fine.
Yeah, just pay us in pizza, right, Logic?
Yeah. What toppings do you like? What's your favorite?
Oh, my favorite pizza toppings. Oh, Logic likes pineapple. I'm actually aligned here. I am a fan of pineapple. I wouldn't say it's my favorite though. My favorite pizza is probably like bacon and mushroom, or like, and then if you want to like throw some chicken on there with some barbecue sauce, that's kind of my jam. But also, I am a Chicagoan, so I'm obligated to say that there is also a time for deep dish, right? And sometimes that's kind of so.
I see. Whenever I get Domino's, I get tandoori chicken, pepperoni, and jalapenos. That's my order.
Tandoori chicken, pepperoni, and jalapenos.
Yeah, it's like a chicken and pepperoni, but it's spicy. It slaps.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, pepperoni is already like mildly spicy, like not spicy in like a traditional sense, but
yeah, it's like white people spicy.
Yeah, exactly. So then you kind of complement that. You like want to do a little bit more spicy than just the pepperoni, so you get the jalapenos on there. I see what you're going for. And the tandoori chicken, honestly, I mean, it depends. I feel like not all tandoori chicken is created equal in terms of spice quantity, but could be something there as well.
The Domino's tandoori chicken just adds like a nice flavor to the chicken. It's it gives it that little extra something.
Yeah, I could absolutely see that. Sounds pretty good. I haven't had Pizza Hut in quite a while, actually. I forget what pizza I have. Rosati's, maybe?
You have Rosati's in that here.
No, you don't have that one?
No, we have Pizza Hut, we have Domino's, we have ZZ's, and Pizza Express. I think that's...
we got all kinds of pizza places around here. We got more pizza places than you can imagine. Oh, we got something happening right now. Hang on, guys. Please hold.
I'll take over while Crewman is doing whatever it is that they do in Chicago. Um,
Oh yeah, yeah.
like they're probably like putting the tomato sauce on the wrong bit of the pizza. They're like putting the cheese under the sauce or something. I don't know what that's all about. It's a bit weird.
Wait, who's putting tomato sauce in the wrong place? What's going on now?
Don't you do that in Chicago? Don't you put the sauce on top of the cheese?
Well, it depends. Every pizza place is different. You know, you can find places that do that and use the sauce underneath sometimes, and it's just, I mean, it depends.
I feel like all the Italians would be really annoyed.
Huh? What was that?
I feel like the Italians would be really upset at you for putting the cheese under the sauce.
I mean, it's a different. I would argue that it's a different kind of dish. I mean, like Italian pizza is also a thing, right? But like we're not when we make our pizza like that, we're not claiming that it's Italian pizza, right? You know, that's not what we're trying to do. But I guess I get your point as well. You know, pizza being an Italian invention, I believe. So maybe they just, you know, as pizza purists over there, they might still be offended. But really, that seems like more of a them problem. In my opinion.
We're starting some Truman Italian beef here. Do we have any
I do
news
love
on
a good
draft?
Italian beef. You know, that is really, really enjoyable for me, for sure. Kind of making me hungry right now, honestly. We should talk about something other than food, I think.
Yeah,
you watching any shows recently?
Shows. I just started watching Doctor Who with my girlfriend.
Oh, interesting. You have a girlfriend. Oh, wow. But you also play League.
Yeah, I don't know how that works. It's like it's still a mystery to me.
Okay. Oh.
Because she does know that I play League, which is odd.
Yeah. Well, more power to you then. I mean, that's great. But Doctor Who, that sounds fun. I've actually not seen very much Doctor Who myself. Not too familiar with the franchise.
Yeah, we're watching the first season of the new version. So it started with Christopher Eccleston as the Doctor, and we just watched one where some green thingies were inside people. They like zip their heads open and crawl out. It was interesting.
Those gosh darn green thingies. That's the absolute worst when that happens.
It is. It's awful.
Yeah.
I hate when that happens to me, but you know, Tuesdays will be Tuesdays.
Yeah. Sometimes, you know, there's just green thingies, and you just got to deal with it. But that's why we have the Doctor around, right? That's what we keep him around for. Deal with those pesky green thingies.
He's good, the Doctor. He is good. Like,
good at what he does. You know.
Can't think of anyone better at it.
You been playing much of the 2v2 mode?
Almost none.
Yeah, I haven't gotten into it either. You know, it does seem like it could be pretty fun, but it feels like you kind of need somebody to play with to really get into that. I feel.
Yeah, I think so. The few games that I did play, it kind of annoyed me how good like Carry plus Enchanter is. Like, if you don't play it, you just lose. So.
Yeah, you have to play specific champions as well. I agree. That's something else that I'm not a huge fan of.
And me and my friends were trying to play stuff like Anivia Poppy and just stun them into the wall and stuff, but then there was just a Kale with a turret that can't die, and it's like, oh, okay.
Well, that wasn't working out for you, huh?
It's fun. Every now and again, you get to ult someone out of the ring as Poppy, and they just fly, they fly across the screen into the fire, but the fire doesn't seem to do that much damage as well. I've seen a lot of people
feel like it's pretty slow burn on the fire ring. Absolutely.
Yeah.
They want to give you time to try and outplay still while you're burning, which I think is good.
Seems like we might be getting into draft soon.
It's a distinct possibility, Boro. I'm not going to get my hopes up.
I hope so.
It could happen.
I want to see what Dipstick can do this game, you know?
Yeah.
Legends have told things that he's been doing with his stick, potentially dipping it. We'll have to see.
You know, there have been rumors. But we'll have to see. Wait and see. What's a marksman champion that wields a stick? Is there one? I can't think of one right now. Callista has a spear.
Callista does have sticks.
That seems like it could work.
We're in draft. We did it.
We did it. We are here. Visani on the red side now, as previously mentioned. See if those Aatrox and Kaisa bans will in fact be coming through. Gragas banned away so far. He was also, of course, a ban for Copers last game when they were on the red side. Their other bans were Zaya and Lowy. Wonder if
Yeah,
maybe
we'll
the
have to see. There's the Kaiser.
nice. I wonder if maybe the Tristana would be eligible to make her way onto the ban list, but the Nautilus, in fact, is going to be respected by the Copers.
Yeah, I wonder if any of these teams bring out Xerath either. I think Xerath's really good after the buffs. Like, they just gave him better laning in a solo lane, so mid lane, and then they just added an extra shot to his ult, which is really powerful.
Yeah, they really did do that. He has been feeling pretty powerful in solo queue for sure. Not as easy to execute, I feel, on the Xerath in a competitive composition. Yeah, he sure is, isn't he? He sure is. So he's going to be scooped up by the Copers. They do lock that one away. The Tristana, though, still available, can come out in response. We could also take away the Sejuani here, deny the Sejuani-Aatrox pairing.
I think Maokai as well. Maokai's something you often see paired with Tristana. There you go.
Yeah, good call there. And would also theoretically be a good combo with the Aatrox, so you can't really deny all of those pairing options.
Ah, we see the Sedge. Well, we could go. Yeah, we could go Maokai now with the Aatrox. We could go.
Yeah. I mean, that also works, right? So, kind of.
Although then you have to be careful about your mid lane pick, because I think you could go Silas mid with the Sejuani, put Trist AD carry, and then you have the Silas version of the Maokai ult, which is really powerful. Oh wait, never mind. Speaking of Silas,
they're one step ahead of you, Poro, potentially, or they might actually be on a completely different, walkway, path of some sort.
Liz got some nice quality of life buffs this patch.
That's true. She did get some quality of life buffs, didn't she?
Renekton and Aatrox. I played this matchup 3 times recently.
Okay.
A lot of people playing Renekton, and I've been playing some Aatrox, and it feels Aatrox favored. As long as you get to level 5, you're just winning.
I see. Well, see if Sadly Alive is going to be happy about getting to level 5 or not. If maybe they'll still be sad. Not too sure. Have to wait and see on that one as well. Quickly through this second ban phase, more AD carry focus coming out from Vasani from this red side, banning away some more of those options that would be strong alongside the Lulu. It is interesting that the side of the Copers would want to prioritize their mid lane pick over a marksman pairing with the Lulu, as maybe a little bit surprising. They're going to take away the Xayah as well. So few. Okay.
I was going to say this is an Aphelios game. I think this would be a really good Aphelios angle, but Zeri is okay. Kayn, this is a Sejuani counter.
Yeah, could go with the red Kayn here.
It's pretty good here, actually. You're looking to just invade the Sedge and take her camps away. If Sedge is ever going for any ganks, you're just going to perma clear her jungle. You're going to accelerate yourself a lot. If you ever find her in the jungle, you just win. You've got good mid push, rather, coming out from this Lissandra. You've got good top push with the Aatrox. The only lane that you're not going to have push in is this bot lane. So if Kayn plays around topside here, which, like you said, he wants to go red Kayn, so he wants to hit the Renekton and the Sedge anyway. I think he's going to be looking pretty good. I like this Kayn. I like the draft a lot more from Copers this time around. I think they're set up more for success than they were before.
You're saying that you like this draft compared to the draft that they had in Game 1?
Compared to Game 1 draft, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. What about compared to the draft of their opponents here for Game 2? You know, we look across the other side here. What Vasani have put together, they do have the double marksman composition. Very, very meta right now. 2 games in a row for the mid laner on Tristana. Looked really good on that last time around as well. So Rakan, we already know.
Here's the problem with the double marksman thing. Normally you'll see it played with Lilia, with Maokai, maybe Karthus. Here they've got Sejuani. Sejuani does like a tiny bit of magic damage, but you have Renekton, Trist, Xayah, Rakan set. You have no magic damage. So if Aatrox goes like a Death Stance and Tabbies, Kayn goes a Death Stance and Tabbies, Lissandra gets a Zhonya's, they can't really die. I mean, obviously they can literally die, but it's going to be so hard to kill them if they itemize armor.
That is true. That is very, very true. We do not have very much magic damage for Vasani whatsoever with this composition. Do you feel like that's enough to make this a Copers favored champion select phase? You feeling pretty good
I think it is anyway. They have Aatrox. They have Zeri into Xayah, which is a really good matchup. We saw that at MSI a lot. The Xayah just can't really interact with her. She can never reach. The Zeri has like, what, 750 range with her Q, I think? Something stupid like that. I think the Lissandra is going to be really good at neutralizing this Trist and just clearing waves playing around Kayn. Like we said, the Kayn into the Seju is a really nice matchup for Kayn. It looks good from the side of Copers. I like it.
All right. Well, of course, the Zeri was hit in the kneecaps a little bit between then and now. But, we have been seeing the Pikachu come out in some professional games as well. Since some LCK teams even have been picking that one back up. And some other leagues as well. We've been seeing the Zeri come back a little bit recently. So, interesting to see what Kata's going to be able to do with the pick. Of course, does feel very strong with the Lulu as well. It's going to be playing passively through that laning phase, looking for the 2 items, looking for the team fights, where Zeri can potentially take over. But really, I think, Poro, what we're looking for Copers, what we're looking for from Copers, rather, in this game is a little bit more cohesion, a little bit of a stronger laning phase, right? To give themselves the best chance possible to play out this draft in the team fights.
Yep, stronger laning phase, definitely going to be good. And then discipline, I think, is the key word. Like, they were making good things happen. They were getting small advantages, but then they just try and push that advantage too far and end up giving something back. I think if they can just take the advantage they get and then back off and reset and collect themselves and then go and get another one and then, repeat doing that, it'll look much better for them.
Absolutely. Well, it's time to find out, guys, if the Copers are going to have the capabilities to take this second game and get themselves the first win of the season, or potentially we're going to be dipping some more sticks, Poro. Go anywhere. Game 2 right after this. Welcome back, my dear CWL enjoyers, to Summoner's Rift for our second game of the night. Vasani now on the red side, Cobra's Anonymous on the blue, with a composition that we like much better than what they had in game number one, right, Poro?
Yeah, definitely like this composition more. I think if they're even remotely even in gold or slightly ahead, if they spend that money on armor, then going into the mid to late game, it's going to look difficult to die. The double marksman thing, it used to be less AP jungle reliant because Kraken Slayer would give you the true damage, but nowadays it does physical damage. So you really do want some magic damage coming from your jungle when you're playing this marksman mid, but Sedge doesn't really bring that.
Not really.
Maybe
I mean, she
Chemo
technically
goes Rocket Belt.
does. Wait, who goes Rocket Belt?
Chemo on Sejuani to
Oh.
bring some magic damage.
Yeah, potentially.
Is this an invade?
It's a bit of an invade, yeah. So usually Kane likes to start in one of the red quadrants of the jungle, but I
Yeah,
guess
he's
just
gonna do
poking
his
his nose
chickens.
in there.
What he can do if you don't spot that invade is he can walk in and do the wolves, and then he takes E level 2 and E's through the wall and smites the buff away.
Ooh, yeah, that's pretty. I've actually, I may have done that once or twice before as well. That's a pretty dirty trick that you can pull on the Kane. Not gonna go for it this time though. Just everybody clearing their respective bot side buffs.
Yeah, Kane wants to clear. We talked about discipline, and the laners from Copas are going to need to be disciplined because their jungle wants to just farm. Like, this is a game where the laners play around the jungle more than the jungle. Like, for Vasani, the jungle should play around the laners because it's Sedge with Renekton, with Trist, with Rakan. But with the Kane and like a utility mid like Lissandra, you want to see the laners play around the jungler.
Absolutely. See if we're going to be able to rotate around with Luna. That's going to be the early jump in for Stormgate. Can't quite detonate the bomb, though.
Still a good trade.
Yeah. No doubt.
Both junglers pathing top. Kane clearing slightly faster, to be expected. Why does he only have 11 CS? He must have missed
Oh, a
some
Kruggy.
little...
We missed a Kruggy. Yeah.
Aww.
Happens to the best of us. But he's still level 3. So it's okay. We do have, once again, neither top laner taking Ignite. It's Teleport Flash on both sides this time around.
Not really sure what Looney's doing here. He should just be full clearing, but he's kind of just wasting a bunch of time sat in a bush for no reason.
And also that Tristana is a ranged character, so she's not even going to give you the right color orbs. Now he's going to look for an invade. We're looking for some chickens. And the Sejuani is not in the area. The Sejuani is actually looking for this lane gank in the top side.
Yeah, this is a really potent gank.
You do have a little bit of an engagement in the mid lane as well, as the Sejuani is being very, very patient, and she is losing some of her jungle camps. She is still not been revealed, I don't think.
Renekton needs his W cooldown to come back up. Once he does, he's going to activate the Sedge stun. Here we go. Stun into another stun coming. Oh, he flashes out.
Yeah.
Oh, he flashes into the turret and doesn't get the stun off. He's dead.
They had him stunned for a long time, Poro.
Oh, no.
They really did do a lot of stunning in that engagement. But it wasn't enough.
That's great for Copas, you know? That's exactly what you want. It's a kill on your Aatrox, your Renekton's down, he's going to have to TP back to lane now. He used his flash. But man, he just had to stun off of the Sedge stun, but he flashes in. I think maybe he misclicked. He like walked under the turret instead of stunning the Aatrox. Tragedy.
And going, not deterred. We are back at it again, and we really shouldn't have been at it again. That was Sejuani just flashing underneath a turret and dying. Not really what you want to see. Cobra's Anonymous. They're off to a fantastic start, aren't they, Poro? Look at that.
They really are, and this is going to be a base TP from Sadly Alive, and then he can hold the wave because it's pushing into him. It's going to be such a difficult situation for Perez because he's going to get a Dirk here. I think he's going to get a full serrated Dirk now. Yep, there it is.
Yeah. The Sadly Alive is very much alive.
The wave
Probably
does
not
crash.
sad, though.
Luckily for Perez, the wave crashes. He's going to get it bouncing back into him. He's going to be able to farm for at least the next minute and a half.
Yeah. Good news for the Crocodile. Needs some more of that, realistically. Because Aatrox from ahead. I mean, you were saying earlier that once he gets to level 5, he wins anyway, and he's level 5 now. And he already has a 700 gold lead. So that's pretty huge for the Aatrox.
Unfortunately, Sadly Alive cancelled his auto there. He was going to get a big passive auto with red buff onto the Renekton, but cancelled it, so that damage doesn't come through. But
Somebody call Cadril.
he cancelled it. Yeah, a huge lead. On a comp that outscales, they already have a huge lead. It's looking really good for Copas. They just need to maintain this. Again, the keyword discipline, don't throw it. See if they can manage it.
Absolutely right, Poro. For discipline play here. Out
look at that champ.
Copers. He's real strong. He's got World Ender. Honestly, could have looked for that dive. Would be risky though. Good damage with the Q strikes
so
there.
Broken.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty, a lot of counterplay right now for Renekton. He's gonna get level 6. Has the Dominus now, available at least. Has to be so respectful, though.
Do you know, are there any other teams playing on this patch? Because I think we're going to see some Aatrox bans, surely, if there are.
Yeah, most likely. I'm not sure if there are going to be any games tomorrow or not here in the CWL. But yeah, I feel like the Aatrox ban is going to be pretty common for at least the rest of this patch, certainly.
It
Dragon
wins.
we go.
Okay, we see the early Sedge Drake again. This is good.
Yeah. Herald not alive yet, so this cannot really be traded for. Xanth June over the wall. Finds a knock-up. Back over with the Battle Dance.
Yeah, and this is going to be a nice, easy Drake over to Dasani. I think, does Kane not have... I thought Kane would have Sejuani's Crux timer, but I guess he wasn't there. Could have looked to take those away as the cross-map play. Like you said, the Herald's not up, so you can't make that cross-map play, but...
Right.
It's nice to do something.
For sure, for sure. Not really able to find it, though. It does have a marginal CS lead in the jungle. A couple camps ahead right now is the Kane. Nothing really to write home about, though.
As we see the battle of the century over some wards.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, both go down.
It's a draw. Exactly the outcome that the Copers are hoping for in tonight's match. They need to make it happen.
It's all going to plan so far.
So far. They did lose the first dragon, though. That's, you know, it's not really a concern yet, but it's something that they have to be considering. So level 5 could get caned right here. But the look at all of the support that's coming in. Rakan and Renekton both moving over. The smite, I think, did go through to Looney. Gonna be able to get some orbs here as well. Has the Humble Trespass still. Cannot, this Sejuani is zooming out of there, though, with the phase rush. Aatrox doing a lot of work here. Sadly alive, remember, with the 2 early kills, but he's going to get shut down by the Renekton. The Aatrox, or the Renekton will get traded back. And now the Humble Trespass will come out from Looney. We'll pick up the double kill in the jungle there. So now the Kane has himself a little bit of a shutdown. Under the turret we go. With the Glacial Prison, gets kill onto Stormgate, and the Thrall is going to finish off the Sejuani as well. Would you look at that, Poro? 6-1. They're doing it. They're doing it, by Jove. The Copers.
They certainly are doing it. It's a really good invade. Like, the timing's good. They have mid prio. They have top prio. Top's massively ahead. He can just walk in. He's 2v1ing the Tristana and the Renekton as things are going down. But shocking twist. Oh, wait. You might be dead.
Yep. That's, well, the other shutdown. Oh, actually, though, shocking twist also with a shutdown. So there is a shutdown still available to be collected.
Yeah.
Look at this replay. Walk us through.
Well, what I wanted to say about Shocking Twist is that he's just holding his ult until next week. I think if he just ulted at the start, like, Sadly Alive didn't have to die there. I think if a Liss ult came out, like, in the fight, they would have just killed everyone.
Yeah, I mean,
but still, it turns out really well.
Yeah, did get those couple of kills on the back end, so did end up getting some pretty good use out of the ultimate overall, but I think I'm with you in the sense that maybe could have used that a little bit earlier to make the fight go a little bit more in their favor. I mean, I could kind of... He flashed for the W. Maybe he wasn't in range to actually ult before the Aatrox died. Not entirely sure.
Well, I think, you know, at the start when they went on the Sejuani, the Looney and Shocking Twist on the Kane and Liss, I think they could have just popped her And they would have killed the Rakan as well, and then they would have just moved over and helped Sadly Alive. But there was like two different fights going on.
Right now on the bottom side is the Zeri ultimate is going to get popped. Do they Featherstorm as well as the AD carries trade their ultimates? Blade Caller will land onto the Lulu, but not too much damage just yet. Sejuani back over the wall. Disengage.
Yeah, and it's pretty good for Copers. Like, they don't have to do anything right now. The Zeri's scaling up nicely. The Aatrox is outscaling the Renekton. Kane's got all of his camps alive, so he can just go and do a complete full clear. Massively ahead of the Sejuani. It's looking really good for them.
It absolutely is. Yeah, certainly much better than game number 1 was looking for. Massive improvements here for Copers Anonymous, which we love to see, of course. Herald is alive now. Our second dragon in about a minute. Only 3 minutes left on the plate, so if anybody's making a move towards that Rift, okay. Engagement in the bottom side as Chemo lands the Glacial Prison onto the support. The Rakan for the follow-up as well gets the charm underneath the turret, the takedown Kata, and now Lulu desperately trying to get underneath this card to stay alive. One more feather in the back, not quite enough. Chemo will just barely survive that last turret shot as well. Very patient from the Sejuani once again. Chemo making it happen, this time in the bot lane.
Yeah, not sure if Lyre wasn't quite in range to cast the Lulu ult onto Kata there. I think he could have lived if that Lulu ult came through, knocking up Sedge and Rakan under the turret. But perhaps just outside of range, doesn't get it off and has to use it on himself. At least only the one kill goes over, but Rift Herald's going to be the trade. Maybe look to drop that, get some pressure, and take away this second dragon, stop the stacking from the side of Asani.
Certainly. So, Herald for a single kill can be a worthwhile trade if we get some decent value out of that Herald usage. Remember, that is something else that we are tracking for this game. See if Shelly can get some MVP votes at the end of this one.
Yeah, Shelly and Shirley popped off last game.
They really did. They really, really did.
This Drake might just go the way of Asani. Kane's posturing top right now. They might be looking to 4-man this Renekton, but Dragon's going to be gone if they reveal themselves.
Oh, the slice interrupted there. The pullback on the Umbral Chains, and this Crocodile's looking like he's in a whole bunch of trouble. Umbral Trespass available to go in underneath the turret. Shocking twist in as well for the assist. Very clean execution on the cross map there for the Copers. And they are running a very, very similar play to what we saw Visani run last game, where we used Shelly to take down this tier 1 turret in the bot lane, get our carries ahead. We trade it for a dragon that we don't really care about. And then we have a big old gold lead with the team fighting.
I think Zeri might be dead. You can't beat... Like, one thing you have to consider as the AD carry is the cross map when you do this 4-man Herald into top play. Like, I think you just have to back off. Yeah, I don't know if they need
He's gonna face check. He's gonna face check the Rakan Poro. He's gonna get chunked down really, really low. Nice quickness there to keep him in place. And now he's just on a sliver of health to teleport in, though, from the Aatrox. Sadly alive. We're going to defend his AD carry. And we'll be able to keep Kata alive to farm up this wave underneath the turret. So, good defense from the Copers. They get the tier 1 in the top lane, and they defend the cross map as well.
Yeah, Kata just manages to live. You can see it was a dangerous situation. That's why I was worried, but gets away with it. The game continuing to look good for Copers.
Okay, the Rost online for Looney. Looking for the knock-up. Can't quite find it. Dipstick with the Featherstorm stepping forward. Glacial Prison going to connect onto the Aatrox, who does have a decent amount of healing, though. Cannot quite connect the Q3. Looney going pretty deep here. Finds the double knock-up that time with the Blade's Reach. Chemo interrupting on the Q with the Arctic Assault. That was pretty clean. 20 minutes. In goes Lissandra underneath the turret. Oh, my goodness. And a shocking turn of events. Shocking twist. Comes in there and absolutely cleans up that team fight. Only does get the 1 kill. That is going to be a decisive advantage now for Copers in this bottom lane. Underneath the turret they go. Looney is going to look for it, going to find it. Underneath the turret they healing. There's just Kane things, baby. Gets out clean. Sejuani? Oh, is very low HP. And I guess doesn't want to try. I think Sejuani should absolutely go for this. It's Looney.
Kane has ultimate. I think Kane can just smite ult him, no? Or is the ult, is this a visual bug? Is the ult on cooldown?
I think he did have it, yeah.
He would heal a ton with the red Kane ult.
He would. I mean, Sejuani could take him underneath the turret for when he pops out. So, no guarantee that he would live, but probably was worth a try. Yeah, I think I'm with you.
Certainly worth a try. The timing of that play from Copers, whether they did it consciously or not, they actually make this bot side play just after 14 minutes. So Renekton pushes the turret on the cross map. He gets about half, 65% somewhere around there, 60% of the turret's health, but there's no plates because they did it just after 14 minutes. So Renekton doesn't actually get anything on the crossbow.
I see. Yeah, so that top lane advantage has not really grown too much since earlier on when Aatrox did pick up those 2 kills, but still, you know, due to the nature of the matchup, I think Sadly Alive is going to be still feeling pretty comfortable up there in the top side of things.
It definitely is, and we can see double Ninja Tabis coming out from Sadly Alive and from Looney, and
Here's
against
the
the comp of
Yeah.
Vasani, it's just going to make them so tanky.
Yeah, so no Mercury treads just yet, so we're safe for now, Poro. Looking
Well,
okay.
the
so
great thing is,
far.
not only is it all physical damage, it's all auto attack damage.
We got
So
some
the tabs
cross
do
mapping
so
happening
much.
once again as both jugglers are looking for some stuff on opposite sides of the map. Let's keep a track of this top lane for now. Aatrox is doing as much healing as he can. The Frostbite is stacking up once again. They're going to get another stun here, and Sadly Alive is sadly going to be killed off. As Chemo on the Sejuani with a killing spree. Very bloodthirsty boar here for Vasani. On the other side of things, it looks like the entirety of Vasani were able to get away from that Kayn on the bot side, who still has ultimate once again. So not quite sure if just didn't have an opportunity to use it this time around again here, or what actually happened with that bot lane kerfuffle. Maybe we could get a replay of that one.
Yeah, I was watching the topside play as well. But we see mid T1 go down, and this could be pivotal for the 3rd Drake that's spawning in 1 minute. It's going to be sole point for Vasani. With no mid turret,
Absolutely.
getting Cryo onto that objective is going to be a
The
lot more
flash
difficult.
right entrance sidestep on that one is kind of able to dash backwards. Looney pretty deep right now in the enemy jungle, but has the support of his mid laner. Going to be totally fine. And yeah, I do feel like how critical do you think this is, Poro, that the Copers stop the Soul Dragon stacking at this next Infernal?
I think you definitely don't want them to be on soul point. If they
Right.
already got 3 dragons, this would be absolutely critical. Like, you just fight it no matter what. This one, like, if there's an opportunity to like trade this one for Baron or trade it for like top inhib or something, like you could do that. You don't need to go for it, but you really don't want to put yourself in a position where 1 Drake could decide your game. Especially not when your draft is so good.
Baron not going to be alive for a couple more minutes. Top lane inhibitor doesn't really seem to be a realistic option at the moment either. Both top laners towards the top side of the map with teleport. Control of the river right now for the Copers. We do have Sejuani in the area, though. Can see Vasani move over to contest this if they would like to. Rakan poking his nose in at the moment. Dragon going down pretty quickly. They're just going to burn it on the side of the Copers, and it's going to be the side of Vasani just electing to give this away, actually.
Yeah, and they don't actually cross-map for the Herald either, so I think we might see Copers just run up. Actually, Aatrox just based, but he was in the area.
Yeah, I'm a little bit surprised, actually, that Vasani decided not to contest there. I feel like they had enough numbers in the area to at least walk into the river, deciding maybe that it was just too risky for whatever reason.
Yeah, we see the Kayn actually building towards Death Stance, which is something that we were looking for.
Oh, yeah.
This guy might just become immortal this game. Cyrilda's coming out for Sadly Alive. Oh.
Not quite. Gonna get the root, though, with the Lysandra. Is Rakan very slippery? Aatrox coming in on the flank, though. Getting it set up by the Glacial Prisoner. Trying to burst down this Aatrox. The Butcher Shot comes through, and it is a lot of damage. The armor hasn't been quite stacked up just enough just yet. Zeri, though, trying to pop off. Scott on the other side of the fight, trying to make something happen. Kane's still alive as well. Already using the Elbow Trespass. There's gonna be a double kill for the Zeri. Looking to clean up this team fight. It's a Zeri moment. Certify it, put it in the books. Give the stamp to it. As the triple kill does go over to Kata on this Zeri. It's a big old team fight win. Copers Anonymous in the mid lane.
Oh, what a nice team fight from Carter, but also a really nice Lulu ult from Lyre. I think it knocked up all 5 members. We'll have to see on the replay. Let's watch here. But yeah, we got the trap. The Kayn W misses. Lysandra going in. And then they stack here in the mid lane. And I thought we were going to see a Lysandra ult stacked on top as well. But we see this Lulu ult here. 5-man knock-up. If there was a Lysandra ult on that, I think they just wipe them. But still, really good team fight from Carter here, kiting it out.
They did wipe them in the end. It just took a little while. And
Yeah.
did get a little bit close there. As the Renekton with the Gore Drinker almost able to take out a couple of members, but not quite able to do so. And it will be the Copers comfortably in the lead after that one. 4K to good. Zeri now with a little under 1K advantage individually.
Yeah, and there's plenty of damage now on the side of Copas. They've got Eclipse. They're going to get Cyrildas. They've got Luden's Shadow Flame. They've got... Oh, wait, we see a fight. I don't think anything's going to happen here. I think he just leaves with the Eclipse move speed.
Well, no, actually, the Rakan is going to say, no, you can't leave. I'm cutting off your escape path. Aatrox is going to flash away to stay alive and teleport into the play for Shocking Twist. Self-ults by a little bit of time. Sadly alive, trying to fly on forward. Kayn and the whole rest of the squad is coming up through the river here. So we got to bail on this one. Vistani, you got to get on out of dodge. Don't have the numbers anymore to fight this one. They will be able to get out, though.
Yeah, oh. We actually see tabbies on Lul. That is very based.
Ooh, knock up Xanthrude. Oh, just gets popped there. The Luden's damage from the Lysandra is too much. Looney gonna get rooted by the Blade Caller, but he finds the double knockup once again into the Aatrox knockup as well. The Featherstorm does come out to try and disengage, try and create some safety here. A zone of control for Vistani up against their inhibitor turret there.
Look at Stormgate, though.
That's true. The Tristana turret destruction specialist doing some work down here in the bottom side. Still unanswered for the moment. Aatrox just completing the recall. Gonna be able to get back here and defend the inhibitor turret at least. But Tristana actually able to trade back quite nicely in that instance, as Pettis is gonna have to flash in the mid lane. Will be able to survive for now. Kayn looking, hunting the slice. Be able to rejoin with the mid laner potentially. Will Pettis. Blast Cone as well, just barely getting away from the reach of that blade. Look at this big old collapse, though, coming through from Coper's Anonymous. The Glacial Path forward. Dominus popped for Pettis. Can't slice back over the wall. We'll just expend the Dominus just to make sure that he's going to be safe from getting engaged on. But Looney not deterred, finding the knockup. And that Dominus is, in fact, expiring as he gets pulled back in with chains. And that's going to be a couple more kills. Going over to Coper's knockup onto the Rakan as well. Dipstick gonna absolutely get snapped in half there. And that's gonna be 3 for 0. Coper's Anonymous starting to run away with this one, Poro. Looking for that first win, and it's looking good.
Yeah, it should be the mid T2 into a second Drake here for them. And Coper's Anonymous are saying, let it be known that nobody beats us 6 times in a row.
Well, technically, there were different people that beat them
sure,
varying numbers of times.
Yeah, that's true.
But yeah, you're totally...
They're saying Vistani will not beat us 2 times in a row. That one's for sure.
That's definitely true. Well, I mean, we still have to destroy the Nexus, but it's looking like it's going to be pretty true. If
Almost
I had to bet
looks
on
like
it.
a formality.
Okay, but we do have somebody that's very, very caught out by themselves. Lulu with the Wild Growth, though, to create a little bit of time, buy yourself a little bit of extra space, and there's only a Sejuani, actually, that's not going to be able to do a very good job of surviving right now. It's got a skates on through. Shocking Twist with the self-ult to deny the reset on the rocket jump. Stormgate trying to do everything he can with the butt shot, but it's not enough. This double kill goes over to the AD carry once again, and this is looking like potentially another Zeri moment, but the disengage will come through this time from Vistani. Oh, I think they're you're disengaging, right, guys? I think they probably should disengage here.
I think...
oh, that's going to be a dead Xayah. And this is going to be the end of the game, I think, Poro. Has a couple more kills right up on the inhibitor.
When you can kill them all.
In the mid lane. Yeah, I mean, you could just kill them all and end the game, apparently, if you are Coper's Anonymous. So that is going to be the call. And on to the Nexus turrets we go. 10 seconds on Stormgate on this Tristana. Will need to be alive for this defense. 5 seconds now. First Nexus turret under fire. Knockup comes through. Not going to go underneath that last Nexus turret, though. The Tristana is alive now. Stormgate going to try and do something here. Try and push them back.
Bot T2 as well. And with the pressure you'd get in bot lane with the mid inhib down as well, it'd open up Baron, and that would be game over. Looks like they're just going to take Drake, though.
It's already looking pretty over, for the most part anyway. But the call will be Dragon for now. And that's actually going to be the call is to kill Stormgate again. Is actually going to be the call. I was just as fooled as Stormgate was in that particular instance. But
I think Vistani look a little bit tilted.
Yeah, just face-checking there was maybe not it, as Lysandra once again going into the team with a self-ult, creating so much space, massive zone of control here, and Zeri just dishing out the DPS from the side. Kata able to help clean up once again. Looney on a killing spree. Only Sejuani and Rakan once again that are managing to stay alive. So another Infernal Drake will go over, and the game, it's still, you know, the game clock is still ticking in an upwards direction, Boro. But I'm feeling pretty confident at this point that this is going to be the Cooper's game to lose. Let's take a look at this replay.
It certainly is going to be the Copa's game to lose. They're setting up on this dragon, and this is only their second dragon. No need for Visani to fight this, but they walk in 4v5, they get 4-man lissalted and rooted, and then the fight just splits up. Numbers advantage for Copas, they just sweep them. They take the dragon, and they reset.
Yeah, that was Visani employing the everybody run in a different direction to try and stay alive strategy. And it was somewhat successful. 2 people did get out with a little bit of a health bar left, but ultimately, I think probably being there in the first place was ill-advised, to say the least.
Definitely was.
Looney is a little bit deep right now in the enemy jungle. He's going to get stunned up a little bit. He's got a bomb strapped to his head, but he's going to survive. Now, the Aatrox who's on the front lines, flashing forward for that Q3. Can't quite find it. Buster shot to disengage, but Zeri is now unleashed to move forward. Kata looking to help clean everybody up once again. That's the power of the Zeri. There is that exciting interactive gameplay that we all love to see so much. Kata really displaying it beautifully right there. Shocking Twist is going to be able to flash forward and go godlike as it picks up that kill onto the Trish underneath the turret. And the last Nexus turret, it will fall. It will be the Rakan and the Renekton and desperately trying to move forward to make something happen and defend the base, but it will not work out for them as the ace will come through. And this was a very decisive game 2 for Copers Anonymous as they do secure themselves their first win.
They do indeed. They're going to be happy with that. It was funny at the end there, watching 4 people collapse onto Looney, and he just can't die with the Death Stance and the Tabbies. It's like we talked about. There's only physical damage coming out. That game was a bit of a disaster. From what happened in top lane in the early game to team fights to draft. It's just unfortunate.
Yeah. I mean, this one was certainly very one-sided pretty much all the way through for Copers Anonymous. You know, we can say, I do think it's important that we remind ourselves of what happened, or what happened right here. Because it was a little bit of some unforced erroring on the side of Visani to sort of put themselves in a difficult position in the first place. But I do think that we can give quite a bit of credit to the Copers as well for playing very well with their lead and just playing well in the fights.
Yeah, they improved a lot from game 1 to game 2. Their gameplay was a lot better. Their draft was better. Yeah, they just played really well.
Who's your MVP for tonight's match, Poro? I'm certain that we will be getting that MVP vote live in the Discord momentarily. So keep your eyes peeled for that, everybody. But in your humble opinion there, Mr. British Poro, who would you look towards as the Pog of the series?
That's a great question because it's a 1-1, so it could be anyone, really. Let me tell you, you've got to weigh up what happened in game 1 against what happened in game 2 to decide who to give it to. I think it would have either been Perez or Dipstick in game 1, and then in this game 2, I think Carter played really well on Zeri. I think Laya had a really nice Lulu ult in the mid lane. It was a good game from Looney as well. It's hard to judge for me. I might give it to Carter for this game 2 performance on the Zeri. Zeri's not an easy champ to pilot.
I'd probably give it to Looney. Or maybe Twist, honestly. I thought Twist had a pretty good performance on Lissandra here. 7-0-11. I feel like that's
I think that's just scoreboard voting. I feel like if you look at how the team fights played out, I was often expecting like a game or a fight winning Lissandra ult to come out, and it was just held for like 20 minutes. But
yeah, okay, all right, that's
a little
fair.
harsh.
Yeah, I do feel like the Shocking Twist, had some really nice ult usage down the stretch. There were a couple of team fights that I know you're talking about sort of in the mid game there, where maybe the Glacial Tomb usage was less than ideal, but I do think that the engages towards the end of the game were pretty clean from the Lissandra.
Yeah, I think what's difficult with the voting is that no individual member popped off and carried in either of the games. Both games were like a team-wide win, right?
That is certainly true, yes. We can give a lot of credit to teamwork and the coordination there. MVP vote is up now, guys. Go ahead and head over there. Let us know what you think. Are we scoreboard voting or are we damage chart voting? That is the question.
I think I was eye test voting, but damage chart voting is also valid.
Sure, yeah. So I'm just anti-Zeri vote, I guess. But we'll leave it up to the people, of course, as we always do. They shall decide for us who is tonight's MVP. That's pretty much it for us tonight. Do you have any closing thoughts on tonight's match, Poro? A nice even 1-1. This is the third consecutive draw for Visani. They have gone 1-1 in every single match that they've played so far. Of course, huge for the Copers, who did manage to pick up their first win.
No, I think it was a good series. I like watching 1-1s. I like seeing how draft evolves over the series. I think teams in the future are going to learn from this and start banning Aatrox because that champion is not fair on this patch. But yeah, we got some dipping of sticks. We got some shocking twists.
You really did.
I enjoyed
you got
it.
all of those things and more. Exactly what you want out of your CWL entertainment for the evening. I think we were not disappointed by these teams. They put on a very nice show for us, so big thanks to them again. And also thank you to everybody watching. From myself, from Poro here, from Logic, from the entire production team at Cobalt Wins. We appreciate you all very, very much. There is no stream tomorrow, so we will see you next week for week 5 of season 6 here at the CWL, moving closer and closer towards those playoffs. So stay tuned for that, guys, as that schedule for next week does come out. But that is going to do it for us tonight. Thank you again for watching, and we will see you next time.
Bye.